am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy. Just a little quick review here. I'm not going to do any spoilers as much as I can. I'm going to just show a few little screenshot-y frames here on my browser, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of how the show looks. It looks good, right? This is the first episode of Dark Crystal I'm going to do a review of. I don't know if I'm going to get around to doing the whole season. Stop with the Netflix. Well, I'll just leave it. If I don't get around to the whole season, like episode by episode, I'll probably do like either chunks or something. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this too. That's the other thing. I have to make a little statement here. I don't like it when they drop an entire season at once, because it's really hard to make time for, episodes, especially when they're hour. Like this is an hour long. It was a solid hour. No, obviously no commercials because it's Netflix. I love Chamberlain. Oh my god. So, as much as I'm kind of like not the hugest Simon Pegg fan, I mean, I like him fine, but he's been a little iffy for the Fandom Menace people. I like his performance as this. He's kind of like one of those go-to geeks, right? And I didn't even, I'm trying to pick out Simon Pegg in there and it's not there. So, good on you. I like the voice acting. I like I like that it's puppets. Oh my god, you don't know how irritating it is for me to sit there and try and watch something like all CGI. I am one of those, I'm an old person. When I was a kid in the 80s, like Dark Crystal was one of those shows or movies that I really, really loved, right? I had book on tape and I would listen to it constantly. I wish I still had it. I had it until just like 5 years ago and it sucks. The book on tape of Dark Crystal, and I had a couple of the Star Wars ones. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and those, and E.T., and I listened to the crap out of those when I was a kid. I'm older than I look. That's why I'm talking about the Dark Crystal, right? I really like the Dark Crystal. It was one of my favorites as a kid. I had probably only seen it a few times in my teens, and I haven't seen it in a long time, and I almost don't recommend watching it again, because this is a prequel and you're going to be trying to piece too many things together. I would almost recommend watching this, then watch the Dark Crystal, then go back and rewatch this for little tie-ins, because I'm enjoying not trying to connect and every single little dot, because my brain is doing that. I'm like, okay, which one's an ancestor of Jen? Which one's an ancestor of Kira? And I love that little detective work, but I kind of want to be drawn into the story of it. So far, with first episode in, I am not at all disappointed. Like, look at him, he's exactly right. Like look at this. Look at this. You got real, believable stuff. I believe that is really there. And that's amazing. And you know what? I'm not even the hugest fantasy person. I actually don't tend to like fantasy things as a genre. But for some reason, the Dark Crystal always hit that little sweet spot of like sci-fi and alien enough to be something alien to me, right? It's different enough to be alien and interesting in that respect. And I don't know. I think that's where I prefer my sort of fantasy stuff to be, in, galaxies far, far away, in space settings, where I can pretend I'm an archaeologist watching an ancient civilization unfold sort of in front of my eyes or something, or a xenoarchaeologist, I suppose. That is one of the things I really, really love about this. And it's just, look at all the little Gala they're so creepy but adorable, and explains the whole cast, or I guess class systems, and these are some of the shots that we get in there. It's very much, I almost want to say it kind of reminds me of some of the well done anime stuff that I've seen, and I'm not even that anime person either. I kind of come into things like, oh, this one thing in this one genre is interesting. And that's very much of my eclectic taste all over the place. And the Dark Crystal does hit that sweet spot there. I mean, the Skeksis look amazing. When they use CG, it is for, weird, like, magic-y mystical effects, right? It's to enhance the stuff there. But there's, like, for puppet to CGI ratio, there's probably, like, 90% puppets and things on screen. Like, things that are actually there. And it's really gorgeous. I'm really enjoying this first episode. And normally, I'm somebody who's distracted, I'll open up another browser, I'll be on Twitter, I'll be, I'll open up a video game and listen to something. This, no, I'm finding myself like, oh, I haven't checked my things in a while, or oh, I left my phone in the other room and should charge it. I don't need, I'm actually engaged in this. I'm watching this, and for me, I have really bad attention stuff. Just look at the visuals of this. This is just gorgeous. It is except for the blurry shot that of course I freeze framed on. I don't want to really spoil a whole lot. You've got your little you got your soldiers, you got the princesses, and you got like underground gelflings in this. It's making me want to go and actually read like the books. Like some of this is like CGI clearly, but it looks like everything is there except these mechanical sort of chains and the gears. But it looks like the crystal's really there. And I guess the arms wouldn't be there, but it looks like the background, right? Okay, you guys are going to ask me, since it's me, is there a lot of the identity politics-y sort of things in this? So far, I saw a little bit, I'm not going to lie, I saw a little bit if you're sensitive to that sort of thing and it bothers you. I will qualify this with, it is no more than the original Dark Crystal, with one little exception, one little dash of an exception that I can think of. It does all the callbacks, it does all the member berries, but it does it in the right way. It doesn't beat you over the head with something, and thank you so much for subscribing, Mitchell Schuler, I really appreciate it. Also, subscribe, like, all the things if you are enjoying my sort of rambling rant video here. This really does. It does all the little member berries. Remember this, remember that. In the right way. It does the callback to the girls have wings thing, in case you didn't remember. And it showcases that they use it. I kind of got for the impression that they kind of retconned it a little bit because they can do the effects better now. Would be the only reason. Instead of just kind of a glide down, they can actually fly. They can fly up and take off and be like birds. That it's kind of bothering me, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but they need it for this plot point in the story, and it would be really weird if they could introduce the characters another way, or they could, showcase the ability another way. I'll let it slide. It's a nitpick. It's a minor nitpick that for my memory of a movie I haven't seen in 20 years, it seems like they could only glide down if they were girls, and they did the whole, I'm a girl, I can do it, boys can't. That is as much of the girls versus boys stuff in the first episode. There is a gelfling that looks like they might have a Down syndrome sort of disease or something, and I'm not trying to make fun of it or not or something, but it's got a very distinct face, and how the gelflings have the very elongated sort of noses and they're very elf-like. Well, this one particular gelfling, I don't know if I can find it here. See if I can find it here. Hopefully there won't be a spoiler. I should have pulled it up. Is it back here this far? Oh, it's before there. Anyway, it's just one little gelfling that has kind of a very smushed sort of face. Is it here? It's right here. Okay. Yeah, it's right behind her. This one right here. Okay, so it kind of acts a little slow. So that's just kind of I'm really looking to find something that we could point out as identity or not identity. It wouldn't be identity. Diversity, representation stuff is this one gelfling, because it kind of says something very slow, and it's got a very different shaped face. So I'm questioning. Now, I'm not saying that's they did it for sure. I'm just kind of questioning, is that what that is, or is it just a kid and they aren't as prominent yet? I know it's a question. I'm not saying that yes, they're that's why I'm it might be a thing, it might be a representation thing, but then again, they might just be showcasing different shapes and sizes of gelflings too. I mean, it's not going to be something that anybody's going to really notice. If you're kind of like me. Sorry, I'm still getting over a cold, so I'm getting this cough coming up. And if you're somebody like me who kind of thinks of a lot of kids yeah, they're just a kid, they might not know stuff yet. He's the kid, it kind of comes off it could be a dumb kid too. So take that as you will with a grain of salt. Yeah, I'm enjoying this first episode so far. For somebody like me, right? Okay, for somebody like me who really likes the Dark Crystal, I am very entertained, I'm engaged, and I want to keep watching. And that is not something that Stranger Things did for me, and that's not something a lot of shows do for me. It seems very well written. It's a lot of generic sort of tropes, but it's kind of like they hit all the sweet spots. You know, you've got like the weird bookkeeper in the library of the royal thing that helps the princess. And he's very stereotypical, but I like him. You know, and you've got the princess who's the princesses are very Jane Austen-esque. I'm enjoying that, you know, and because I do love a good sort of Jane Austen or Louisa May Alcott sort of story from time to time, so I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying we set up the quest in this episode. We set up a quest of, oh crap, things are going bad. Here's where they're starting to go bad. Let's see who we can send in this world. We're setting up our characters to try and fix things. So some bad things happen to and I don't want to give you any spoilers. So a couple of bad things happen to the characters that we're going to be following throughout this series. And I believe they're probably going to all end up meeting, because I believe I've seen them all together in pictures. That's my prediction, that they're all going to end up meeting and then going on the journey to fix stuff. We've got a lot of beautiful shots of Agra's conservatory thing, or observatory, whatever it's called. I can't remember the name. God, I should. They set up they lore very well in a not very boring way. They set up. It's good. 9 out of 10 probably. I don't know why I would give it maybe because there's a lot of little, hey, remember this, remember that might be a little distracting. I don't know. I'd almost give it a 10 out of 10. Now I'm thinking I want to give it a 10 out of 10, and I never give anything a 10 out of 10. What didn't I like? What was irritating? Nothing irritated me yet. That's the thing. There's no characters that irritate me yet. I think they're setting with a lot of characters that you're supposed to not like. Oh, there's gross stuff, too. God, remember the 80s? Remember when we could show, like, snot jokes and pus coming out of boils? Oh, this is fun. Oh, God, the Skeksis. Remember how gross the Skeksis were when they're eating and you get all the stuff? They brought it back to the next level. Oh, God, I love that. Yeah, okay, 10 out of 10 for the Skeksis. They were one of the things that creeped me out as a kid. I hated them, and I love them now because they're so creepy and gross. And they feel right. They feel like the Skeksis. It feels like the Dark Crystal. It feels like I'm watching the Dark Crystal again. And I like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am Mecha 42, and hopefully we won't have any spoilers on this one. Try and keep it spoiler-free in the comments. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!